This is episode 21 of Ask Mogz Anything, the series where I answer questions from you guys about Sideswipe and about myself. This special episode features gameplay from one of the world's best players, Danz. And it includes answers to questions about topics like the best mechanics for plats and diamonds, how to build your own YouTube channel, and how to defend stall chains, with answers from a world #1 player and a stall chain master. All of the gameplay in this video was provided by Danz himself, a huge thank you to him. Go check out Danz's own Sideswipe YouTube channel linked on screen and in the video description. And all of the questions answered in this video came from my Discord server. If you want to submit your own questions for future episodes, come join the Mogz Discord server. The details are on screen and in the video description. Alright, let's get on to the first match and the first question. Alright, so first question comes from Not Jeff, and they ask, Mogz, it's great to finally be able to talk to a YouTuber. That's nice to hear. So my question is, why when I play calm, I mostly win, and when I'm angry, I mostly lose? By the way, thanks for helping me. You're my favorite Sideswipe YouTuber. So I decided to answer this question because it's absolutely adorable. And it's just my pleasure to answer this guy's question. So why do you win when you play calm and you lose when you're angry? Well, I would say that if you're calm, you're going to be actually being patient and thinking about what you're doing. Like, you're not going to be overcommitting crazily. You're going to be sort of light with your touches, light with your inputs in your controller or on your touch. And if you're angry, you're going to be making stupid decisions, because anger is something that sort of clouds your judgment and makes you make rash decisions. Like you'll probably overcommit. You'll probably boost a little bit too much when you shouldn't be. You jump a bit too early and, just flip at the ball when you should be instead being patient. And, I think so. I think patience is absolutely key to playing well in Sideswipe, especially in 1v1s. So it's just really important to stay clear-headed. And yeah, I think you can apply this to anything in life. It's not just Sideswipe. You could apply it to everything. Anger is not going to help you in any area in life. So, the more healthily you can deal with your anger and kind of dissipate it, and think in a clear, kind of calm way, you're going to be much better off no matter what you do. So it's not only Sideswipe, you can apply it to everything in life. Alright, so the next question is from Alian66, and this question is a bit of a special one. So this one is about how to challenge stalls, basically. And for this one, I have sought advice from Doro, who's one of the best players in the world, and also Zogz, who is a bit of a freestyle player, and I really respect him for his ability in stall chains. So I'm going to be getting advice from both of them about how to challenge stalls. So firstly, from Doro, his advice is he should make sure his car is a little below the opponent's car level in the air. So you should be below them, not above them. You should keep the opponent above you. The opponent is stall chaining. So once he gets contact on the other side of the ball, so in other words, a 50, he should flip with the joystick pointing up. In other words, what people call like a wave dash on the ceiling. Then you flip up towards the ceiling, and if you get the timing right, the ball will change direction and won't go into the goal. And then he says, basically, just tell him not to use his flip before 50ing the opponent, and once the opponent uses his, he can save it and use it, and then he uses his after. So basically, you want to keep your flip for as long as possible. And flip as late as possible. And when you do flip, you should be flipping towards the ceiling or towards a surface. So don't just flip towards the ball. You want to flip towards a surface. Okay, and then Zogz's answer is... depends if you're talking about horizontal or vertical stalls, but for a ball going horizontal, make sure you've got more than 30% boost, so you want to save some of your boost. Face parallel to the car of the opponent, so you want to keep your car... parallel to the opponent. So basically, I guess facing up or down. 50 the ball and use a manual flick or white roll. Not sure what a white roll means, but I guess maybe white shot, like a white flip. So you get a reset. And then counterattack, stalling back one. So you stall into the ball, basically. So you can use a manual flick to hit the ball away, or use a white shot and then stall into the ball and push it back towards the other goal. And he says when the ball's going vertical, I'd say best option is to wait it out until the opponent is lower on boost and then get then get 2 stalls away from where they're going. Try to get a pinch, but always do it towards a surface. Yeah. So again, he's saying you should stall into the ball maybe, and then you can pinch the ball, but towards a surface. Don't flip towards the ball. Don't flip into the ball upfield. You want to flip towards the surface. So pretty clear advice there. Definitely don't flip towards the ball. Definitely flip towards a surface. And when you are challenging, you want to keep your flip until the end. And if you are going to use a flip, try to get a reset. So try to get either a stall or a white shot or something like that. But at the very least, you want to be flipping towards a surface. Next one comes from Eternal YT, and they ask, hey Mogz, I'm currently plat and peaked at Diamond 1. Someone asked if there's any easy mechs I can learn. I can do purple flick, gold, and purple shots, sealing and gold ground pinch. Sealing and ground pinch and solo plays right here. Well, the first thing that came to mind when I read this was the purple sealing reset is an amazing mechanic. If you're plat, you peaked in diamond. I mean, it's a good mechanic to get into your game. That's something that I would highly recommend. I don't know. I mean, you say you can gold and purple shot. I don't know what gold shots exactly you're talking about. So if you're not really good at horse kicking and stuff, I would highly recommend practicing that a little bit. Because that's a really good gold shot to have. And just get consistent with your gold shots. Like get consistent with aiming them and getting lots of power on them and stuff. But yeah, I think like in terms of mechanics, the 2 that really come to mind if you want to get into diamond, like higher into diamond, I'd say the purple ceiling reset, which is just an amazing way to sort of add something to your aerial plays, your solo plays, and then also the ceiling flick is really good. Might be a little bit high, but in terms of mechanics, like it is quite difficult to pull off consistently. But I would say those 2 are extremely good mechanics if you want to get into diamond and champ. So those are probably my recommendations. Other than that, you know, mechanics are not the most important thing at all. So I would say if you're kind of getting pulled down into plat, it's probably your game sense and stuff that's your main problem. It's probably not mechanics. But yeah, anyway, those are my mechanics recommendations. Next one's from Kevin, and they ask, Mogz, how do you mentally prepare to make a video, or do you just not even think about it and go for it? Are you a shy person in real life? I mean, that's like 2 questions that are just completely different. Am I a shy person in real life? I was extremely shy when I was young. I was just crippled by shyness, honestly. And it was really only before I moved to Japan, I took a public speaking class because I knew that I was going to start doing English teaching in Japan. So I moved from Australia to Japan, and before that I did like a Toastmasters class where I was learning kind of public speaking and stuff, and that was really good to help me get used to talking to people and to doing speeches and stuff. But yeah, growing up I was really, really shy, and I would say that yeah, I'm still a little bit shy. I'm not really that comfortable in like really public situations with like big groups of people and, you know, public speaking and stuff. It's just daunting, and yeah, I get a bit anxious and stuff. So, but I think that's quite normal. I don't think it's abnormal at all. But yeah, I tend to be the kind of person that would rather a quiet, you know, I'm an introvert, so I prefer like a quiet space with a few people rather than lots and lots of people. That's just more my kind of style of socializing. How do I mentally prepare to make a video? I don't really mentally prepare for a video. I think I have ideas, and I'll often have a bunch of ideas at the same time, and then I'll just go with whichever one feels right, whichever one feels the best. But yeah, actually, so I was thinking about it today. Like I was sitting down and doing some gameplay for my other channel, my Helldivers channel, and I was trying to record myself playing, and I found that it was really difficult in the beginning to get into the right headspace, and it basically took me like 2 hours of playing and talking, like doing commentary and stuff, to actually get into that headspace. And once I was in it, then I could record and you know, have a few really good takes, make it entertaining and informative, and actually play well and blah blah blah. So it kind of took time, and I think I had to kind of warm up and get into it. But in terms of like mentally preparing to make a video, I don't really do that. I just like power through it. But yeah, interesting question. Next one's from Kevin as well. Mogz, do you ever consider being GC in Sideswipe or not? It would be nice to see you in the top 10 leaderboards. That's never gonna happen. I don't know what, like, I don't know if you've ever seen me play Sideswipe. I used to do Sideswipe gameplay videos on my other channel. I'm not that good at Sideswipe. Like, I'm like diamond, I'm like mid to high diamond at best. So, am I ever gonna be GC? No, no chance. I would have to spend such a ridiculous amount of time on it. So no, that's never gonna happen. Just forget about that dream of yours. Unless I pay someone to, like, you know, carry my account. Right, next one's from Flame Warrior, and they ask, hey Mogz, what do you do in your free time? This is completely off topic. Tell us your love story with your wife. Bloody hell. That's such a funny question. So what do I do in my free time? Well, I play with my daughter. We hang out together. She's 4 years old, so 4.5. So we often, you know, play games together. We play Fortnite, like Lego Fortnite, and we just hang out playing with our toys and kicking a ball around, chucking a ball around. So I do that. I play games. I mean, I'm a massive gamer, so I love playing, you know, Helldivers 2. I love playing the finals. Playing, what else am I playing at the moment? V Rising with my brother. I play a lot of games with my twin brother, and friends and stuff. I've got a good group of friends that we sometimes play games together. So yeah, I mean, I'm a gamer, so that's what I like to do in my free time. Other than that, I don't really have that much free time. Most of my time is working and with my family, taking care of my family. And love story with my wife. I mean, Jesus. So I met my wife in Japan. I was living in a guest house on my own. I'd just broken up with my ex-girlfriend. So me and my ex-girlfriend came to Japan together. And I said to her when we came, I said, like, it was supposed to be a trip that I was going to make on my own, and I was going to break up with her before I came to Japan. But she said she wanted to come as well, and I was like, okay, but after we've been there for a couple of months, you got to go. I don't want to... I'm done with this relationship, so we can do some traveling together, and then that's it. You're gonna have to leave. And I mean, you don't have to leave, but I'm gonna go and live on my own. I'm gonna do my thing, because it was a bit of a self-discovery kind of thing for me. You know, as I said earlier, I'm a twin, and me and my twin have always been really close, and I think kind of too close. So I wanted to use that time to, you know, be independent. You know, I'm living away from home. I'm away from Australia. I want to be away from my twin. I want to be away from my girlfriend and blah, blah, blah. And then I was living at the guest house, which was this tiny little shoebox room with like shared bathroom, shared kitchen, and like really like super social like environment with lots of foreigners and Japanese people and stuff. And there was a Japanese guy there that I was kind of friendly with, and he said that he's got a girl who speaks a bit of English, and do you want me to introduce you? And I was like, okay, cool, whatever, that's fine. And then I was coming home from work one day from my teaching job, and she was there, and he introduced us, and I thought she was pretty. And then like a week later, but I didn't really think anything of it really. She was just another girl that I met. And but then we started talking on Facebook and like Facebook chat. And a couple of weeks later, I think we all went out, like 4 of us went out to play pool together. So we did that, and we didn't hit it off or anything. It was just like normal, like we were just like hanging out. And anyway, then we kept talking, and then we started talking on the phone a little bit, and then me and her friend, her female friend, we're gonna all go out and watch the fireworks and stuff. And the other friend ended up canceling, and so me and my now wife just decided to go together, and that was it. We were sort of just kind of friends after that, but we, you know, she wanted to learn English, so she was like, teach me English. Yeah, and we just completely fell in love. So it was like a month later that we were dating. So yeah, that's the story. And then, well, anyway, then I stayed in Japan for another year, and we spent heaps of time together. And then I went back to Australia for like a year or so, and then we decided to get married. And so I came back to Japan, we got married, and then yeah, we started a family and stuff. So yeah, that's my story. I don't know if anyone else is interested in that. If you're not, just skip that part. All right, next one is from, I can't even see that, Dark, and they ask, Mogz, will you get back into Sideswipe with these new things? If yes, Okay, if no, would you get back into it if they continue adding stuff? So I'm assuming you're talking about all the new game modes that they announced in that survey. I would definitely get back into it. Yeah, I would start playing all the new game modes, doing videos on all the new game modes. It would be amazing. I'm holding my breath and hoping that they do release at least 1 or 2 of those. Would be incredible. If you don't know what I'm talking about, watch my video about it. I'll link it on screen and in the video description. But yeah, I'd definitely get back into it. It would be absolutely amazing. Next one's from Forfeit Already. And they ask, Mogz, I'm thinking about starting a YouTube channel for Sideswipe. Any tips on how I can grow my audience and make good vids? I mean, honestly, I wouldn't recommend starting a Sideswipe channel. I think it's probably one of the worst games to get into now. I mean, it's basically dead. And you're not going to be able to get many views. So I'd recommend doing it on another game. Just pick any new game that's just come out and just do videos on that. The earlier you can get in, the better. And yeah, that's the best way to start a channel. And, you know, to grow an audience and make good vids, you got to do something you really believe in, something that you are really interested in, and that you think that you can, I guess that you think that you can keep doing long term, because YouTube is not a short term thing. It's something that you need to, that takes hours and hours and hours to do every video. And so it's going to have to be something you really enjoy doing. So I would say make videos that you enjoy making. I know that's like a cliche answer, but it is the truth. If the worst thing, and I've seen channels completely die because it was really clear that the guy who owned the channel just couldn't do it anymore. He was just like, I'm over this topic. And then they just switched topics to something else, and it just, you know, didn't work out, and blah, blah, blah. So it's really clear that like it needs to be something that's sustainable. So pick something that you really are interested in. Pick a new game that's coming out that you want to play heaps, and just hammer it as early and as hard as possible, and make quality videos. Like, you want to make videos that other people aren't making, or if you're going to make videos on topics that other people are already making them on, then do it in a way that sets you apart. Either make it higher quality, make it more entertaining, make it funnier, make it whatever it is, shorter, you know, like more accessible, or better tips, or, you know, explained in a really clear way, or, you know, whatever it is. You got to kind of create a little niche, and put your personality into it. Like, the easiest way to create a niche is to just put your personality into it, because your personality is by definition unique. You know, whatever makes you, just put that into the video. Put something of that into the video, and it will automatically be unique. So anyway, all right, next question's from Kevin. Again, Mogz, do you like cold weather or hot weather? I hate hot weather. Cold weather, 100%. And the reason I love cold weather is because I love things that make me warm. So when I'm cold, I love to have like a hot bath or a hot shower, or have like a hot coffee, or, you know, just wrap myself up in blankets and warm clothes. I just love, and heaters. Like, it's just, nothing makes me happier than sitting in front of a heater with like a hot cup of coffee or something. It's just, those are my favorite things. Whereas hot weather, and also like cold weather is easier to escape. You know, I can do so many things to like heat myself up. Whereas when you're hot, what can you do? You can like go for a swim, but what if you don't have a pool? You can like sit in front of a fan or an air conditioner, but, you know, that's like pretty annoying, and you can only do that when you're at home. So I find like cold weather is sort of easier to escape. You can just get all rugged up. So yeah, that's my answer. Next one comes from SQ Zen, and they ask, what would be your favorite game mode from Dropshot, Infinity Runner, and all the other new modes? Yeah, what were the other modes? My favorite, let me just have a look on my computer. So there's Infinity Runner, Rampage, Practice Zone, Squash, and Dropshot. I mean, I think out of all of them, I think I said this in the video, Squash I think would be really fun. And that's like the competitive ones are what? Rampage, Dropshot, and Squash. So they're the ones you're going to be playing with other people. Out of those three, 100% Squash. Rampage and Dropshot. Dropshot would just be volleyball. It's horrible. And then Rampage would be what? Just 2v2s with demos? Yeah, it'd be cool. I mean, I would like that, but it's not game changing. So Squash, 100%. And then out of the other two, Infinite Runner and Practice Zone, I think infinite mana would be great. So yeah, that's just so obvious, I think. Everyone should agree with that. Okay, so the next question comes from Rio, and they ask, I have a problem while I'm doing store chains, always purple shot ruins it, can anyone help? Yeah, this is such a common problem, a common question. I mean, the only real thing I can say about this is just that if you're purple shotting when you're actually trying to do a stall, it's just that you're pressing jump when you should be pressing air roll. So that means that the bottom of your car is facing the ball when you press jump, and so you do a purple shot. Whereas it should actually be that the roof of your car is facing the ball when you press jump, so that when you jump, you get pushed towards the ball, then you can air roll, get a reset, blah, 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 do the stall. So that's it, and I guess the main cause is just that you're probably rushing it. You're probably trying to do stall, when you're doing stall changes, you're trying to do them really fast usually. So you're probably just doing it too fast and your fingers are getting confused. But that's the cause, just the bottom of your car is facing the ball when it should actually be that the roof of your car is facing the ball. So yeah, I mean, pretty simple problem and simple solution. Just slow down your inputs until you can get the muscle memory down and you stop making that mistake. Because, it should be a really clear sequence of, put roof of car on ball, towards ball, jump, air roll, reset, air roll again, and then jump again, blah, 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 blah. But you're probably doing jump, air roll, reset, and then jump again rather than air roll. And so you're doing a purple shot. So that's the issue. But yeah, really common problem for lower ranked players when they're learning how to stall. Next one comes from Dark, and I can't think of a question, so I guess it's a Kevin hard question this time. Why Lily as your daughter's name? Yeah, so I named my daughter Lily because it was actually just a name that my mum suggested. So I think at some point, I think near to the time when she was born, my mum suggested that as a name, and I just, for some reason, just really liked it. I wouldn't have liked the name previously. I don't think, if you'd asked me 10 years ago, do you like the name Lily? I'd be like, yeah, just didn't really have much personality to me and stuff. But I don't know, for some reason, it just really fit for me in my head when I was imagining what I wanted my daughter to be like, and Lily just has this kind of, I don't know, it just seems quite pleasant, quite a happy, cute, innocent sound to it. You can't imagine someone being really mean if their name's Lily. I mean, I can't anyway. So, yeah, I really liked it. And actually, so this is a more interesting story. So her other name, and actually her main name in Japan, is Ayla. And if any of you guys know the story of my name, the origin story of Mogz, where does Mogz come from? So Mogz is actually from a book. The character's name in that book, well, his title was MOGZRL, and so I named myself MOGZRL. That was always my nickname on games and stuff for the last 20 years or whatever, long time. And so that's always my name. And then my brother called me Mogz as just a nickname for that. And so then I started calling myself Mogz. And actually the main character in that same book where Mogz comes from, her name was Ayla. And so actually my daughter's name and Mogz are very closely related. The main character in that book is named Ayla, and her best friend for the first their first book is MOGZRL. So actually my daughter's name and MOGZRL are very, very closely related. So that's something I don't think I've ever told anyone on here before, but yeah, it's kind of interesting Mogz lore. Mogz and Lily lore. And the name of the book is Clan of the Cave Bear. I'm not sure if anyone's read that, but yeah, it's a great book. The series ain't that great, but the first book is really good. Anyway, next question comes from Z7 and TM6 Dommy. Right, yeah. Dommy, I guess, is his nickname. Mogz, what is better, touch or controller? I mean, there's no real answer to this. It's kind of just up to preference, so whatever you like using. I personally hate touch because I just find it awkward, and I don't like having my fingers all over the screen. I'd rather have the screen completely clear, and so that I can use controller. and I can see everything that's going on. I don't have my fingers like obscuring the screen, so I don't really like touch. Also, I've never played an action kind of game on touch before. Like I'm not a mobile gamer. Like me being a Sideswipe YouTuber is just an accident, really. It's just because I love Rocket League, and then I came to Sideswipe. Like before I played Sideswipe, I had never played an action game on touch before, so I'd only played, you know, things like Candy Crush and that kind of like, you know, they're not action games, so they don't require you to have like crazy finger movement and stuff and dexterity, which I don't. So I personally prefer controller just because I have more experience on controller, and it's just kind of cleaner, I find. But yeah, I think it's up to preference. But that said, I think most of the high level, like the top one players, are controller players. I think it's pretty rare that you'll find like a touch controller in the top. Like Justin's one of them, and there's a few others, but yeah, it's relatively rare. But, you know, I think ultimately, if you're good at touch, then it's probably better than controller because there's no input lag or anything, and it's like native to the game. You know, you don't require anything additional. So there's not going to be any input lag at all. So I think actually, like theoretically, touch is the better. But in practice, I think controller is just easier to learn and easier to be consistent with, and yeah, easier to pick up. So most people are going to be more comfortable on controller, you know, because it's designed to be a controller. So, whereas a touch screen is not designed to be a controller; it's designed to be a screen, first and foremost. So, anyway, there's your answer. Next one's from Zen again, and they ask, "Do you like living in Japan?" This is a good question. I would have to say that when I first moved here, I loved Japan. When I came here for a holiday, I really loved it as well. I noticed a few people asking about Japan, like, what is it like to live there, and blah, blah, blah. And I mean, I gotta say that actually it's very different to visit Japan versus living here. You know, when you visit, it's just this kind of amazing, interesting land that's completely different to your own. And so everything's foreign, everything's like exotic. And you don't have any responsibilities or anything when you're there. So you see it as this kind of beautiful, interesting landscape, you know, of like with this weird culture and weird food and weird customs, and everything's kind of strange and unique, you know, which it is. But when you actually live here, you realize that assimilating into that culture, that weird culture and that weird social hierarchy and everything environment, is just, it's not really possible. Like, and so at some point you're going to start to struggle with that, and then you start to struggle with things like going to the doctors and doing your taxes, and, you know, just going shopping, and having to navigate the language and navigate all of the social stuff and the rules and all the red tape and stuff in this country. And you realize that it's not that great, and that all of these things that you just take for granted as being able to do in your home country, you can't really do here well. You can't do confidently. You know, just simple things like just having a conversation. Like, my Japanese is not very good, so just like having a random conversation with a random person on the street, or going into a store and having a problem and needing to talk to the staff to solve it, that's really difficult for me here. Whereas in Australia, I don't even think about that stuff. Like, if someone talks to me, I can just chat with them. If I've got a problem in a store or something, I can just deal with it. If I got tax problems, I can go deal with them. Like, I can do anything I want. There's no restrictions. I don't feel limited in any way. Whereas in Japan, I very much do. And to get to the point where I don't have to worry about these things at all anymore, I'd have to be studying Japanese for 10 years or something, and I'd have to be living and breathing it, you know, and I just don't. I have no interest in that. So there's barriers to entry, and there's difficulties and obstacles in places where you wouldn't even expect them. You wouldn't even think about them, really. I mean, at least I didn't, until I was confronted with them, and I was like, oh crap, okay, this is not actually as good as I imagined it would be. And I mean, that's just scratching the surface. Like, this, I could talk about this for hours. So, do I like living in Japan? Not really. No, I want to get back to Australia because I just feel at home there. It's just natural. It's my natural environment. Yeah, that's your short answer anyway. The next one is from a different Zen, and they ask, Mogz, how tall are you? I'm about 6 foot. There you go, there's your answer. I'm like 108. I'm like 5'11 and 3/4. I'm like just off 6, I think. So I'm really close. Yeah, I got a tall family. I think that's all the questions, actually. Yeah, that's all of them. I hope you guys enjoyed that. If you guys want to leave your own questions for future episodes, put them, come join the Mogz Discord server and put them in the Ask Mogz channel. I'll keep doing these for as long as you guys want to watch them. And if you want to see different gameplay or anything on this series, let me know. I'm going to start doing like individual, I think this will be the first episode of like an individual top 1 GC. So I'll just do clips from that one individual rather than a whole bunch of randos. And I'll see if that works. If you guys like that, let me know. If you want to see a different game, like not Sideswipe, let me know. If you want to see, I don't know. If you have any ideas, let me know down below, because I'm open to changing the format. Yeah, and as always, guys, like the video if you liked it, dislike it if not. Subscribe for more videos like this, and I'll see you guys in the next one. GG's. I don't know why I've been saying that at the end of my videos. GG's.